Yesterday, I had a talk with a mentee who was frustrated that he wasn't making more progress. And he said, but I know exactly what the problem is. Okay, so what's the problem? And he said, rightly, I'm just not doing my Ivy Lee method every day. For those that don't know what Ivy Lee method is, it's the method where the night before or the next morning, better to do it the night before, think about the things, the activities, the tasks that will move your needle the most towards your business acquisition goal. That's what we're focused on here. And so that number is usually 3 to a maximum of 6, not a 20 to-do list. And prioritize those. And then take those priorities in the Ivy Lee and put a time next to them. So at 7 a.m. I'm going to do this. At 8 o'clock I'm going to have this meeting, whatever it is. And that's really important as a first step. But there's a second step to that. And that is on a weekly basis or a daily basis, track the output. So it's one thing to say, I want to make 25 calls tomorrow starting at 7 a.m. It's another thing to write down, what did you do? So keep track of setting your goals for each of those activities: cold calls, letters, emails, conversations, NDAs sent, NDAs received, LOIs, financials, on and on and on. Put all of those things, put a goal next to those, and then track how much of that you did. And so that which gets measured gets done is a pretty good mantra as long as there's action behind it. So you'll go back and you'll take a look at your piece of paper or spreadsheet or however you're going to do it and say, okay, this week I said I was going to do a total of X and I did a total of Y. If that's good or better than what you planned, great, maybe change the number. If it's not, think about, okay, what prevented me, what distraction usually prevented me from doing that? To doing the calls, to doing the letters, whatever it is, having the meetings. And there are certainly people that have had financials that they've received but just didn't analyze them, had calls from sellers that didn't return those calls. So it's one thing to make the output happen, but when the tasks are there to finish those to completion, then yes, you need to focus on those as well. All the financials in the world aren't any good if you don't analyze them and then get back in touch with the seller. So simply put, yes, Ivy Lee, great system. Write down the tasks that move the needle the most, put times next to them, and then track the output from that, what you said you were going to do and what you actually did. And if you do that, you'll begin to hold yourself accountable. The more that you can have that become discipline. Every day I'm going to make X number of calls. And then you'll begin to say, okay, I got to get my calls in. Kind of like the guy that tracks his 10,000 steps a day and at the end of a day goes, oh, I got to do those 10,000 steps. It becomes a disciplined task and it becomes a habit after a while, all of which is good as long as those tasks contribute to where you want to get to. So hopefully that helps you. A lot of this is discipline. If you don't know where to start and how to begin this process, go over to brucewhipple.com. Lots of resources there. There's a free conversation starter. If you want to go there directly, just brucewhipple.com/get class. And if you're wondering how to use AI, it's there. Information on group coaching, information on the VIP mastermind, the boot camp on explaining the steps in this process. Go over to brucewhipple.com. It's a good resource, and you'll see what you need to have to help you. Maybe you don't need anything, but at least know the steps, follow the steps, and then use a system like Ivy Lee and a tracking system on your output. If you do that, you will end up usually in a much better place than those that don't.